If you've ever experienced yourself having the same result over and over again in your love life and you're frustrated with it, it might be that you're wanting to attract the love of your life and it's just dating the same kind of guys, or you might be in a relationship and the relationship has gotten into a rut, you're feeling disconnected. How can we change that result? This one mindset, this one idea can change everything. Because if we bring the same approach to our circumstances, we will get the same result from our circumstances. To create a change, we first have to change. Why? Because here's the big idea, here's the principle. It's called the mirror principle. And what it means is that we live in a reflective reality, and what you put out, you get back. Like when you're walking down the street and you smile at somebody, their natural inclination is to smile back at you. Even as human beings, we have something called mirror neurons. And that is that when we see somebody else behaving a certain way or experiencing an emotion, we will experience that emotion. If they smile at us, we have an instinct to smile back. If they're angry or aggressive or judgment with us, we will match that same energy. I had a beautiful moment just this last week with my son, Bryson, who is 6 years old. We were eating dinner and I said, "Hey man, you want to play chess?" And he said, "Yes." So we're learning to play chess together and we set up the board. His sisters are taking a shower and we have this event coming up this weekend. And so we set up the board and I said, "Okay, Bryson, let me go ask your sisters about this event this weekend and see if the whole family can come, because maybe you can come as well." I got up and I went over there, asked them, came back, and all my black chess pieces had been like knocked over the board and they were spread out all over the table. Now, in full transparency, I was frustrated because this little guy had already been testing me, my wife, all night long, kind of going against the grain. And so here he was, just kind of slapped all the pieces over. And my first thought was, this guy's going into timeout like right now. But I paused myself because I had been training to realize that behaviors are simply a request. When we do something, it's a request to try to meet an unmet need that he has. So I took a deep breath, I sat down next to him and I asked, "Bryson, what do you want me to understand about you that would have you throw these pieces all over the board? And how are you feeling right now?" And he said, "I'm feeling angry." And I said, "Okay, you're feeling angry. What is it that's causing you to feel angry?" "I'm feeling angry that you didn't just play with me and you went and talked to the sisters and I want to play this right now." And I said, "Okay, Bryson, I want you to come with me. I want to show you something." I walked him into the hallway. And in the hallway, we've got a mirror, big full-length mirror. And I said, "You see this reflection in the mirror?" And he's so mad. He's 6 and he's like this. And he doesn't want to look at the mirror. He's like resisting, he's like looking down. I said, "You see the reflection in the mirror? The reflection is going to give you back whatever you give to it. And so I want you to make this mirror smile right now. Make it smile." And he kind of looks and he sees himself scowling and that makes him laugh. And so he kind of laughs and he smiles and he's like, "You made the mirror smile. How did you do that? How did you make this mirror smile?" When you smiled, the mirror smiled. And so I turned him around, I walked him back and I said, "Bryson, that's how life works. It's a reflection. When you're angry, then life gets angry back at you. When you brought anger to this board and you smashed the pieces everywhere, I came out, I felt angry. What is it that you want from me?" And he said, I was so impressed with this little guy. He goes, "I want understanding." And I said, "Okay, if you want understanding, then you have to bring understanding to the situation. If you bring understanding, you're going to receive understanding." I was so impressed. He took a little deep breath and then we started playing chess and like he got it. And so if we want a change in our relationship, often we are actually holding the result we don't want in place by where we're placing our focus and the energy we're bringing to the situation. There was a client that came to one of our platinum events, a big week-long breakthrough, and she was feeling so disconnected with her husband. She wanted more connection, wanted more closeness, but when she began to pull back the layers of what is she bringing to the relationship, she was bringing judgment and criticism because he had lost his job and wanted to start a business, was kind of stalled out for 12 months. And so she was feeling like she had lost respect for him. She stopped praising him, stopped complimenting him. They stopped sleeping together. They were just feeling like drifting further and further and further apart. We said, "Okay, you want closeness. What is someone who's experiencing closeness? How do they feel about the other person?" Well, they respect the other person. They love the other person. They appreciate the other person. They feel fondness and admiration for the other person. So I said, okay, direct your energy there. I know there are things that you don't prefer going on in the relationship right now, especially with his career and his work and his behavior around that area. That's not the entire story. There's parts of this story that you can praise. Are there aspects of him that you do respect, that you do admire, that you do appreciate? And she was like, oh, 100%. So I said, generate that feeling in you. And tonight, before you go to bed, just let him know. Without attachment to his response, just say, hey, honey, I know I haven't said this in maybe a minute, but I just want you to know how much I respect you and I love the dad that you are and the way that you show up. Pick whatever it is that he's doing well and just acknowledge him for those things and see what happens. The next day, she came back to me, her eyes like saucers, and she was like, Matt, that worked. I shared with him how I felt and the things that I appreciated about him. And she goes, I felt him completely open up. And then he started sharing about what he was going through and what was on his mind and his vision and his fears and all these things, what I had been wanting to hear him say for all these months. And he hadn't ever shared before. In fact, he was sharing so much that I was like, okay. That's enough for tonight, which made me laugh. And she brought the energy to the situation that she wanted and it got reflected back to her. Somebody has got to be the change they want to see. As Gandhi said, we have to be the change we want to see. That's often the hardest thing to do. And so how do we empower ourselves to be the change we want to see? 2 strategies. Number 1 is hold a standard for ourselves that other people can be any way they want to be, but we are going to come from our core value of how we're showing up in relationships. We're going to come from this place of respect. We're going to come from this place of love, of care, of compassion. And regardless how anyone else is showing up, we're going to bring that to the situation. You might be the person thinking, well, Matt, if I smile at somebody and somebody doesn't smile back at me, that means that this reality isn't reflective because they would have smiled back. No, it's always reflective, but it doesn't always reflect back in the same channel that you give it. You might give love and energy here and you're going to receive it over in this other area, but it always works. Have a standard for yourself about the way you're going to show up. And instead of seeing the gap or seeing the lack or seeing what's not working or seeing why your love life isn't the way you want it to be, put the focus on the things that you do have because energy flows where our attention goes. So put your attention on what is there, what is working, and you will see it begin to expand. The second strategy is surround yourself with people who lift you up and remove yourself from people who drag you down. You want to surround yourself with people who ignite more joy in you, who enhance the love in you, who are positive, who can connect to possibilities, and remove yourself from those people who are constantly complaining, talking about how bad it is, talking about the limitations, that there's no good men out there, that all men are like this. If you're around people who are complaining about their husbands or their spouses, remove yourself from those situations. Like a gravitational pull, you will get sucked in to that energy, and we've got to protect ourselves. You want what we call love pacers in your life. In other words, people who are operating and experiencing the kind of results that you want. There's a great example of this. Eliud Kipchoge, first person ever to run a marathon under 2 hours. That is flying. How did he do it? Well, he had pacers. He had pacers that would run sections of the marathon at the pace required for him to achieve his goal. First guy ever. Now, since he's done that, there's been a bunch of other people. I love that example. It's like Roger Bannister's 4-minute mile, right? And then a bunch of other people do it. Kipchoge's 2-hour marathon, and now a bunch of other people have done that. How do they do it? By having pacers. In other words, surrounding themselves with people who are moving at a pace that they want to sustain. So in our love life, how do we be around people who have the kind of relationships that we want? The mirror principle. Focus on what it is that you want. See it all around you. Bring that energy to the world and you will see it reflected back to you. Because remember, the more we transform ourselves, the more we are able to transform the results that we want in our life. My question for you is, when have you seen this mirror principle show up in your own life? I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. And if you would love support in transforming your love life and attracting a relationship that you absolutely love, click the link below and check out the Manifest Your Man program. It is a proven, reliable, repeatable system that will absolutely help you attract and create the relationship that you are dreaming of. And know this, I believe in you. I appreciate you. I want to honor you for your growth and your willingness to expand. Here's to you and your amazing love life, and I'll see you soon.